let's take you here now. Deputy President Paul Mashatile is answering questions currently at the National Council of Provinces. Let's take you live there now.
Honorable Chairperson, we are implementing the revitalization program of agricultural infrastructure because it is a critical intervention towards improving agricultural products and food security. However, as government, we are not only investing in infrastructure or infrastructure needed for agricultural sector to be competitive, but also we are targeting support measures for farmers, including beneficiaries of land reform program, particularly to ensure that they become active players in the economy. House Chairperson, this is evident in one of the projects called the River Valley Catalytic Program, which focuses, amongst others, on irrigation and water infrastructure for agricultural products through irrigation schemes, construction, but also rehabilitation of rural farm access roads to the markets, because we know that in the rural areas, it's very difficult sometimes to access the market. So we are providing, amongst others, this service as well. So, Chairperson, these are some of the things we are doing, and I do hope that it will assist Member Mkiva to know what we are doing there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, President. Our first supplementary question will come from Honorable Nyambi, who's a stand-in here.
I love you, Mama. Thank you. Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you, Deputy President, for the response. We are encouraged that the ANC-led government has invested and continue to invest in infrastructure development. These include roads and rail infrastructure to transport agricultural products to local and international markets using particularly rail. Deputy President, in light of recent outbreak of avian influenza, which has impacted negatively on the ability of farmers to adequately service the market with chicken and eggs, what measures has the government adopted to mitigate its effect on the availability of the products and assist small-scale poultry to navigate the negative impact of the flu in the sector? Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Deputy President.
Thank you very much, Honorable Nyambi. On behalf of Honorable Mkiva, one of the things that I've mentioned before is the measures that are taken by the department to support farmers through what we call the blended finance scheme. This scheme is about 3.5 billion rand. So those farmers that are affected by influenza will get support from this program. I have been reliably informed, Chairperson, that the Minister and there's an association called Rural Development of South Africa Poultry Association, that they appeared before the Portfolio Committee to confirm that indeed support measures have been taken to support these farmers, particularly your small farmers or small-scale farmers. But of course, the details thereof are still being discussed with National Treasury to ensure exactly what that support will constitute. But amongst others, the recommendations that were put before the committee were that all affected farmers, especially small-scale one, will receive adequate compensation. I'll have to leave it to the minister to come back to us about what adequate would mean, but it's really to ensure that we help them to revamp and ramp up production once again. And with respect to vaccination, the department is also assisting to ensure that there is registration of vaccines and that process is fast-tracked to ensure that farmers can receive vaccine to ensure that they can deal with this problem that is now affecting them from this influenza. So those measures are being put in place, and very soon the Minister of Agriculture will announce that package as to how much those farmers will receive, but we want to see them once again being able to continue to produce and to trade. Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Deputy President. We proceed to Honorable Ocamp.
Thank you, Honourable Chairperson. Honourable Deputy President, in your answer to the main question, you tried to give some examples of areas where you allegedly intervened to improve the revitalisation of infrastructure in the agricultural sector. Now, you've mentioned something about the roads in rural areas. What you have ever failed to tell us, Honourable Deputy President, is what interventions you have taken to improve the road infrastructure in our rural areas where farmers battle to get their products to and from the markets due to a lack of proper road maintenance. You have failed to tell us what interventions you have implemented to protect the safety of our farmers who can't even get a tax rebate for the money that they are spending to keep them and their employees safe. You have furthermore, Honourable Deputy President, failed to tell us what interventions you have implemented to assist farmers to overcome the challenges led by load shedding. You have also failed, Honourable Deputy President, to tell us what you've done to improve the efficiency of our rail networks and ports, which in return will improve the productivity in our agricultural sector. Now, Honourable Deputy President, my question to you is, what are you going to do to revitalise the infrastructure developments of these matters that you failed to mention to us today? Thank you, Honourable Chairperson.
Deputy President.
Thank you very much, Honourable Chairperson. The work by government to assist farmers and do work in rural areas is not new. In fact, if you look at as early as the 2022-23 financial year, you will see that the department had a lot of projects that they were dealing with. One of them, Honourable Member, it's exactly what you're talking about. It's infrastructure projects. Now, this infrastructure project obviously includes roads, amongst others, access roads for farmers. I've been reliably informed by the department that just in 2022, they had 440 of such projects that they are implementing. But also, in the year 2022, they also implemented a further 83 projects, particularly to assist with infrastructure projects for rural developments and farmers. They have also been involved in other projects, including access roads to farmers. We don't have the number for that, but a lot of money has been spent on this project. So I wouldn't say that we have failed as government to assist farmers, just that there's a lot of work that we need to do, but we have started, and as I say, not yesterday, but as early as last year already, and more of these projects are going to be implemented to ensure that all the farmers can have proper access roads. The issue of security is also being addressed. The department has been working with the Department of Police to ensure that they improve policing in the rural areas, in the farm areas. So, Chairperson, that work is happening.
Thank you very much. We'll proceed to the third supplementary question from Honorable Tafeni. Honorable Tafeni.
Enkosi Chairperson, greetings to the members. Chairperson, my input. Deputy President, most farming activities take place in the rural areas, and the lack of road maintenance in these parts undermines the viability of this sector. Deputy President, this is concerning to note if you take into account the farming sector transport more than 75% of its produced by roads, as the rail infrastructure has basically collapsed. In my province, Eastern Cape, the province accounts for nearly a third of South Africa's dairy production, yet dairy producing organizations are struggling to move their fresh milk to market because of the dire state of the roads, especially after heavy rainfalls. What interventions has the Deputy President taken to repair road infrastructure across all rural towns so as to provide relief to the sector? I thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much, Deputy President.
Honorable Member, we note your concern about the Eastern Cape. I was briefed by the Minister of Agriculture that the Eastern Cape is one of the areas which they are prioritizing, particularly with the problem that you have raised of access roads. And she indicated that, in fact, they have committed about 21 billion rands to do work, particularly in the Eastern Cape, where this problem is very pronounced, as you have indicated. So I have no doubt that this work is going to happen there, if it has not started already. But in the OR Tambo district, I'm told that some work has already started, and we can check the details of where exactly. But the amount of 21 billion rand has been committed already by the department to ensure that we deal with the challenges of the Eastern Cape. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. Next is Honorable De Bruin.
Thank you, Chairperson. Deputy President, seeing as the AAMP and the budget for agriculture focuses mostly or more and are prioritizing mostly up-and-coming farmers, which contribute only about 9% of our food security, what plans, measures and strategies are in place to expand infrastructure to assist specifically our commercial farmers that contributes 91% of our food security? Thank you.
Mr. President.
Honorable Chairperson, commercial farmers are very important in the production of food. In fact, we regard them as a pillar for food security. So when I talk about the support for farmers, we particularly also include commercial farmers, particularly when you have problems of rain and floods in the farming areas. Obviously it's difficult for them to move products. So the department is quite conscious of the fact that we're not only looking at small-scale farmers, but also ensuring that the commercial farmers themselves have a conducive environment to be able to produce and to transport their products to market. So I can assure you that indeed commercial farmers are part of our support programs that we have put in place to be able that there's an ease of doing business for them. So we're not just going to focus on the small-scale farmers. We want to ensure that the commercial farmers themselves succeed, because they are the backbone of our food security pillar. Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Deputy President. We'll now proceed to question number 20. This question is on service delivery intervention. The question is from Honorable H.S. Boshoff and is directed to the Deputy President. Deputy President.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. Honorable Boshoff, thank you for asking the question. Chairperson, in our previous responses, we clarified that government has no cadre deployment policy, legislation, or procedures. Nonetheless, the African National Congress, as a party, has a cadre development policy and deployment processes. And this is what we did after the democratic breakthrough in our country to ensure that we safeguard democracy and ensure good governance while assuring rapid and purposeful transformation. So the ANC was very conscious right from the beginning that we need to provide our people with necessary skills and capacity to be able to transform this country. Secondly, let me emphasize that the logic behind this process is to ensure that the most suitable are used in recruitment, prioritizing appropriate placement of skills, especially during the transition period and beyond. In fact, the honorable member might be curious, should know that these discussions actually took place in Lusaka, even before independence. It was not new. Whilst we were there, the discussion was held, how are we going to govern? Let's start training our people. That's where the deployment policy comes from. Honorable Chairperson, I have also outlined to honorable members during our last appearance in the National Assembly that when it comes to the process of appointing mayors, speakers, members of executives in various municipalities that are led by the ANC, we ensure that the most suitable and qualified are the ones that are being deployed. Honorable Boshoff might be happy to know that, in fact, almost all of our mayors are being interviewed. And we don't just take whoever. We normally interview them, shortlist. The last 3 will be interviewed by the executive. And the mayors of the metros are actually interviewed by the top 7 of the ANC, that is led by the president. So we don't just put people and say it's deployment policy. Allow me, therefore, to say, Chairperson, allow me to remind those who question our commitment to professionalizing the public service that last year in 2022, government adopted the national framework towards the professionalization of the public sector. So we have already adopted it. Chairperson, in our view, the professionalization of the public service requires a non-partisan approach, which embraces the merit principle in staffing all our departments in the public sector. The ANC government has always argued for professionalization of the public service, and we are going to continue to do so. We have also previously stated that the challenges facing local government are also areas where we are particularly attending to ensure that there's good governance, that where there are weak institutions, that we deal with that, poor financial management, etc. So our policy is to ensure we deploy the best. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. First supplementary question, Honourable Boshoff.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Honourable Deputy President, you could have fooled me. Sadly, the communication
Sorry,
is...
I couldn't hear that.
I said you could have fooled me.
Oh. Yeah.
Some protection, please.
Order, honourable members. Let's hear and make sure that the Deputy President gets the question from Honourable Boshoff.
Point of order, Chair.
Yeah. Yes.
Point of order, Chair. In terms of the rule of the National Council of Provinces, to maintain and sustain the decorum of the House, Honourable Boshoff, when it's saying President could have fooled her, it's implying that the President is dishonest in his response. Whilst we have to enjoy freedom of speech, let's refrain from such utterances because it can compromise the decorum of the House. She's allowed to ask her question in a very dignified and respectful manner so that we can sustain the decorum of the House.
I think that the point is really like broadly noted, but I would really urge members to, the noise must be kept to barest minimum. Members also should really do their utmost to ensure that we also don't take advantage of the opportunity to ask questions, to make small little speeches and so on. With that having said, Honourable Boshoff, please proceed. Honourable Boshoff.
Siyabonga, Sisi. Honourable Deputy President, sadly communication is the downfall because people don't know who to speak to, they don't know who to report to. In view of that, will you today undertake to establish a cross-functional team comprising representatives from relevant government departments, the local municipalities and community stakeholders to enable effective communication and collaboration among these entities, and to furthermore develop a clear and detailed action plan for addressing these identified issues, which should include specific goals, timelines, responsible parties, and allocated resources to prevent the possible eruption of protest actions. And then I would also like to request, Deputy President, you said that the top 7 of Cabinet are now interviewing your mayors in the metros. Can you share with us what is being done with mayors in the rural provinces? Because it is a dire situation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Deputy President.
Thank you very much, Honourable Chairperson. Honourable Member, what you are proposing is already happening. Let me just brief you. The cross-functional team, I lead the district development model implementation that was announced by the President, and in that team also serves the Minister of COGTA, Deputy Ministers of COGTA, and when we go to the provinces, we invite the premiers, the MECs, and we invite executive mayors. But below that, you have a team of officials that include the DGs, the official in the provinces, including municipal managers. And then we look at all issues of government across all three spheres. We have introduced a concept that is called One Plans, where we bring all the plans of the various spheres of government together in all areas and ensure that we develop a common approach. So that is already happening, and we can give you details if you're interested in knowing more about what we're doing, but it's basically to ensure that government works as one. It works as one. We have recognized long before you did that there's a need for this, that there was work in different silos by different spheres of government. We have now pulled them together. Lastly, yes, the officials do interview mayors for metros, and when it comes to other levels, the provincial executive committees, so what we call the top 5, in a province will do the interviews, including for mayors in rural areas. But there's something else that we have done at the level of the president. There are municipalities that we have realized historically that there are challenges. We do get involved as well with the president there when those interviews are done. So there is no mayor in this country that gets into office, if they come from the ANC, that would not have gone through this process. No one. Not even in a rural, small municipality. Everybody goes through this process. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Deputy President. We'll now proceed to Honorable Moima.
Greetings to you and also the Deputy President.
Thank you, ANC.
And honorable members in the House and also on the virtual platform, and our guest. Thank you, Honorable Deputy President. I must, right from the onset, express our rejection with the contempt that it deserves, the false and negative narrative peddled by the information peddlers masquerading as the Democratic Alliance and their fellow travelers on matters of deployment and employment of people in the public service. The DA deliberately conflates two issues that are distinct and separate: the issues of deployment and employment, which is governed by various public service laws. Deployment mainly in the political office in government led by the presidency ministers and deputy ministers. Still, there are ministerial handbooks that governs the deployment in those offices. The transparent employment process and practices within government shows that the ANC-led government is committed to meritocratic public service through the appointment of qualified and experienced, skilled and capable professionals. It is also important to note that the Democratic Alliance in the Western Cape, upon taking over, many of our competent and skilled officials were dismissed. As you correctly pointed out, Deputy President, challenges in local government are multi-dimensional and are receiving the attention of our ANC-led government. Therefore, the question is, what actions has the government taken to make sure that smaller and rural municipalities attract and retain professional services with the requisite scarce technical skills needed to manage municipal infrastructure, especially in areas such as water management and engineering broadly? Thank you, National Chair. Thank you, Deputy President.
Deputy President.
Thank you very much, Honorable Muima. I think the important things really to emphasize, because I spoke a lot about what we're doing at national government level. Let me just maybe stress a lot that at local government level, there are institutions that we've put in place that safeguard the integrity of how we run government, particularly to ensure good governance. So you have municipal infrastructure support agents. I'm sure you may have heard about it, MISA. It's one of the critical institutions that is there. There's local government SETAs that are providing training. But SALGA, as an association of local government, is providing leadership in all our municipalities across the country, particularly to ensure that we must continue to ensure training, ensure that there's capacity, ensure that there's good governance. So I can agree with you more that, in fact, what you are saying is quite correct. And we are doing that, and we are going to continue to strengthen these institutions to be able to ensure that those that are at the local government sphere continue to provide and ensure that there's good governance in those areas, because local government is closer to our people. If we have problems there, then we're going to have a serious problem of service delivery ongoing. But if we fix local government, we will improve service delivery across the board. Because in most cases, when national government goes down to local areas, we do that through our councillors. We do it through municipalities. So it is indeed our priority to ensure that we get things right at local government level, and we are doing it. And as I said earlier, I work very closely with the Minister of COCTA. We have been to various parts of the country, engaging with many of our leaders who are deployed at local government level. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Deputy President. Our next supplementary question comes from the IFP, Honorable Khatib.
Thank you, Chairperson. Honorable Deputy President, a number of our legislations call for municipalities to ensure fair, efficient, effective and transparent personnel administration, and that public administration at all levels of government must be governed by efficient economic and effective use of resources, as well as good human resource management and career development practices. CADA deployment has proven to be the fairest of the opposite of this. Honorable Deputy President, my question to you is, what balance do you intend to strike between efficiency, which is a requisite of the law, and CADA deployment, which your government has no intention to eradicate? Thank you, Honorable Chairperson.
Very much. Deputy President.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. I think in many respects I may have answered this question. But let me just say once again that nobody is deployed in government unless they go through a very rigorous process. Let me give an example because that may help. If government advertises that they want a DG for agriculture, that advert goes out. If the ANC feels Honorable Dango is the best can be a DG. We recommend to him to apply like everybody else. So the process is transparent, and Honorable Dango will arrive and be interviewed like anybody else. And if he fails, he won't be appointed. Yeah, maybe it's a bad example if Honorable Dango will not fail. Yes, the point I'm making is that, and remember, this is not theory. I did work at national government level as a minister, where I was part of these processes. And when DGs are interviewed, are not interviewed only by a minister of that department. You must bring 2, 3 other ministers and deputy ministers, so you will be 5, probably including national DG. So when you do the interview, it's very rigorous. There are people who may have come and the ANC likes them, but they failed to get through. So we don't just say, no, you are an ANC member, please, go and be a DG. No, you go through that process. So if you were to ask in national government, all the DGs of all the departments, ask them how they got there, they will tell you this, that the interviews are tough. You go through them, we want qualifications, and once you submit your qualifications, they get checked. So in other words, there is a process of vetting that takes place. And once we're happy with the vetting and you have passed the interview, you get the job. That's cadre development policy. We not just take anybody from the street because they are ANC member and say, go and be a DG. No, it's never done. So don't be worried about cadre development policy. It's a very good policy because it ensures that you prepare your people for these tough processes, you train them, and a lot of people are being trained in the ANC. We even have a school, O.R. Tambo Leadership Academy is there. We train people all the time because we want the best of the best to go and do the job. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
The last supplementary question comes from Honorable Dlamini. Honorable Dlamini. Yes. Oh, Honorable Shabangani.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson of the House, and greetings to all honorable members. To the Deputy President,
don't I answer first?
My question to you is straightforward and to the point. The ANC has managed to state so poorly that it has cast doubt on all political appointments. In light of this, has there been any intervention with the rotation or rotating of municipal managers who have received adverse audits or fired from other municipality? That's my question to you, the Deputy President. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deputy President.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. If I understood the member, you are worried that we rotate people who have failed somewhere and we take them somewhere else. I think that's what you mean. We don't do that. We don't do that, Honourable Member, because I think we would do a disservice to the people of South Africa if we were to do that. There is no single manager that the ANC would have taken who have failed somewhere and take them somewhere else. We have never done that. No, honourable members, even in Parliament, we don't bring in the NCOP people we think have failed somewhere, or in the National Assembly. We don't do that. Unless honourable member can give me a specific example and say, in this municipality, you as the ANC, you brought so and so who have failed in a municipality X. There is no such. No, there is no such. So, Honourable Chairperson, let me just say to the Honourable Member, no, Honourable Member, we don't do that. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Honourable members will now move on to the next question, question 21. This question is on women in engineering profession. The question is from Honourable Njadu and is directed to the Deputy President. Deputy President.
Thank you very much, Honourable Chairperson. Honourable Chairperson, in our work leading the Human Resource Development Council, we have made a long-term commitment to invest in skills and the skills revolution, especially amongst young women, the youth, and also persons with disabilities, in order to build a productive and globally competitive society. On the 25th of September, I had an opportunity to address the UNESCO Africa Engineering Week. At that conference, I interacted with engineer Ms. Refilwe Buthelezi. Ms. Refilwe Buthelezi is actually the president of the Engineering Council of South Africa. The CEO, Dr. Bridget Samula, and many engineers proud of their profession, and they are women. Ms. Buthelezi and her executive briefed me about the need to invest more in developing women. And let me say, Chairperson, that over the past few years, we have noticed growth in female registered with Engineering Council of South Africa. I'm told that in the past it was very difficult for women to register, but that number is increasing now. We have seen an average of about 35% year-on-year growth among registered female engineers in the database of the Council. Currently, there are also 7,000 registered women engineers in the database of the Council. We agree that there is a need to ensure that we deliberately target women to consider them entering engineering profession and encourage those who are not registered to register. Because sometimes if you complete your degree at the university, you need to take active steps to go and register. So we are encouraging them to do that. Empowering of female engineers is paramount in achieving sustained development and global competitiveness. As government, we are championing the implementation of several women empowerment programs, like, for instance, what we call Women Economic Assembly, WECONA, which was launched by the President in 2021. WECONA is a catalyst platform for women-owned or managed businesses or enterprises anchored on collaboration between the government, the private sector, and civil society. This is an ongoing initiative to encourage women to be economically active, to bring together the private sector, government, civil society, to drive change in the economic landscape. Honorable Chairperson, AgriSeta has identified several priority interventions as well from the Economic Reconstruction and Recovery Plan that speaks to, amongst others, empowering women in the agricultural engineering and agricultural scientists sector. Together with the sector education training authorities, we will simplify the funding application processes to avoid delays in processing funding for third parties, which slows the government efforts to address challenges plaguing the women training sector. While the government continues to implement programs to empower women in the engineering sector, there is a need to address the structural challenges of social and gender equalities hindering their progress. As government, we provide social, political, and economic conditions for women to thrive, especially in critical engineering sectors, with our social partners and businesses. So we do work with the other partners to ensure that we can really strengthen the support for women training in this particular sector and be able to be placed in particular work opportunities or businesses in this sector. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you. Our first supplementary question comes from Honorable Njadu. Honorable Njadu.
Ndiyabulela Sihlalo. Ngalemva kwemini.
All right, that was Deputy President Paul Mashatile answering questions in Parliament. He is before the NCOP, of course. A number of questions posed before him.